I'm joined with Clemson head women's basketball coach Shawn Poppie. Coach Poppie, we appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Thank you. I just want to ask you, how excited are you for year two wearing the orange?
Well, I mean, I was very excited a year ago, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. To be able to venture around here in Charlotte in year two and know where I'm going, that's kind of been the common theme, and so I'm really excited about what we've started, but more importantly, what's about to happen here in year two, and to represent this paw across your chest, but in a way that I think the fan base will be very, very proud of this upcoming year.
And you've talked about how excited you are for this group. You've got a handful of newcomers, you've got a handful of returners. What is your job as a coach of trying to get those two kind of sides of new people, kind of been here before people, to mesh together and kind of work towards the one collective thing? How do you do that as a coach?
Yeah, I think some of that is learn from your past mistakes. I think last year, throughout the summer, we just assumed as many veterans we had, they'd kind of figure it out. And I think the one thing that I look back on is I shouldn't have done that. I think that they needed to have a little bit of direction. And, we did something this summer where each kid got a day in the summer to show the rest of your teammate with coaches not there, right, of a little bit who you are. And to hear some of the stories and them to start the bonding process, I think has played a huge impact of how close we are, how connected we are this early in the year. And so I give them a lot of credit as we try to help guide, but it's up to them to kind of, make the plan work. And they're all in for not only each other, but Clemson. And I think that's why we're most excited.
And one of the words that both your players who were here, Mia Moore and Tamira Hines, talked about when I spoke with them, the buzzword was buy-in, right? How do you achieve that as a coach? You touched on it a little bit just a second ago, but how do you really make that happen and get those players there like, hey, we're ready. We're here for Clemson. We want to be here.
Yeah, I think that we try to obviously recruit a certain type of person to come in. There's a starting point. And with this group, we just had more time to do that. Last year we were 1 week process and just signing because we needed a bunch of bodies. This year I think we were a lot more strategic to get the right ones, and not only them but their families that were all in for what we were doing. And then the second piece is just being what we say we're going to be in the process, right? Relational, developmental, where you feel like you're part of a family. And I think when young people see that and they felt that all summer, that now when we're holding them to a level of accountability and standard, it's not because we're picking on them as individuals, it's to help get things better for the betterment of what we're doing. And that has been a lot of fun to be a part of this off season. Is the buy-in is as strong as I've been any part of my career, to be honest with you. And when that happens, it excites you as a coach because now it's on us, right, to put them in the positions for them to be successful. And there's no doubt we have enough talent for us to do that.
And whether it's personal development, maybe off the court, or development of the product on the court, is there any player this offseason that has surprised you the most out of everybody that you've got?
I tell you what, basketball-wise, no. I think that we have a lot of different pieces that are going to contribute to us. Off the court, we knew who they were. Me, it's just kind of their personalities, you get to see their little who they are, right, outside of a uniform, showing a locker room. I think that Dee, her social battery's not a large one, but when it's there, she's got more energy than most. But then when it runs out, like we all know to leave Dee alone, right? And so
for a moment.
In a day like today, we were going to have to pick her up in practice, right? She used her social battery up today. So mine's just more so those things, the things that fans don't get to see a ton of. How goofy and silly Holland Harris, who's a freshman, is, right? And, Rachel Rose, who's stepping up a level and knows us from competing at Wofford. And, the kid will not leave the gym. And she wants to be in everybody's workout because she wants to learn them. Those are just little storylines that I think are so unique and different. And we got a lot of really cool ones like that.
And factoring all of that in together, personally, everything on the floor, what you guys have put in over the off season, what's the ceiling of this group? What are you expecting to get out of this team this year?
We obviously want to make it to an NCAA tournament. It's something that's only been done once in the last 20 some odd years at Clemson for women's basketball. But we don't get too in depth about that. I have talked to this group that the potential is wherever they want it to be. We have the pieces in place. We got the coachability. We got the togetherness. We got to get past the learning curve at a little bit higher rate. But whatever they decide they want, I think that we can achieve. It's that special of a group, and I believe in our staff and what we do that much as well. And when you can put those two together, will we have some bumps in the road? Absolutely. Right, all seasons do, the ebbs and flows. But to think we're a month away, I think that the sky is the limit for this group, and I think they're willing to accept that.
Well, Coach, we've all got November 3rd circled on our calendars, excited for that first game against USC Upstate at Little John. We'll be pumped for you guys and ready to get the basketball season going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and as always, go Tigers.
All right, thanks for being here.